going on, everybody? Welcome to the RBS Cinema Podcast.
I know Kung Fu.
Show me.
This is Sparta! I'm thinking I'm back.
Why so serious?
Avengers!
Assemble. I'm Batman.
You better lawyer up, asshole. Because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything.
I'll be back.
You shall not pass!
RBS.
Lovely.
Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of RBS Cinema. This week's episode, we are talking about The Bullet Train. And before we talk about Bullet Train, I'm your host, Devin, as always. And with me, as always, is co-host Jack.
I'm still Jack.
And bringing back this old joke, he is still jacking off. So
I didn't say that, but
if
I guess that's what I'm saying now.
If you had an Uncle Jack on a horse, would you help your Uncle Jack off a horse?
I mean, I had a Grandpa Jack.
Yeah. So there you go. Would you help your Grandpa Jack off a horse?
He wouldn't be on a horse, as he.
Okay, fine. Would you help your Jack off a car?
Doesn't quite have the same punch. Let's move on,
Jack,
shall we?
you ruined the bit.
Yeah, well.
Hey, what are you doing?
Oh, cat's up on my chair now.
Apparently he wanted to be up here. What are you doing? Are you trying to be the star of the show? That's my job. Any whore, because we're getting distracted because of my cat is now in front of the camera. Which brings me to my next point. If you guys want to see us, you guys can subscribe to our channel on YouTube, but you can also watch us on Spotify, because Spotify you can watch the videos, and you can also listen to our voices on Apple Podcasts. So be sure to follow us on all of those. Give us all the good ratings, comments, all the suggestions, stuff. Be really good. Appreciation. Help us out. Grow the channel out. Which, speaking of, go ahead and subscribe to all those things. Share this around with anybody that is interested in podcasts, movies, a couple of guys cracking jokes like we tried to do and fail.
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
And also if you love cats, because I have like 3 of them. So be sure to follow us on TikTok and on Instagram, because that's where I will post clips and some other stuff. So
We're almost to 40 subscribers now.
yeah, as of this recording, we're at 39 subscribers. Would love to get to about a lot more. So
At least
definitely
100.
push this.
Triple digits.
Yeah.
Would be nice.
Love to have that within the first 2 years of it. So
Yeah.
really appreciate it. So let's kick off watch list,
Yeah.
shall we?
Sure.
So why don't you go first?
Okay. Well, the past couple of days, I watched Casino Royale for the first time, because the James Bond films are all on Netflix now.
Are all of them on there?
It's either all of them or almost all of them.
Yeah.
Maybe all
there's
the,
a
all, like,
lot of them.
Yeah, but like, but it's like every like there's a movie from there from at least one movie from every single Bond
Right.
on there. Now, obviously, they're going to pay more attention to the more modern ones with Daniel Craig
And Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan, but I believe there's a couple of
Sean Connery.
yeah, Sean Connery films on there. But I decided to watch Casino Royale first because I'd never seen it before, and this is my opportunity to see it. It's funny. I've seen Skyfall, the one that's later in the
series,
of the Daniel Craig ones, but I'd never seen Casino Royale. Probably for good reason. It's not necessarily something that a kid in 2006 should be watching, because I would have been about 8 at the time. Probably not a good experience for an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
But I watched it finally. Really enjoyed it. Especially like the movie sort of ends.
Yeah.
Like except there's like 30 minutes. Like it feels like it ends but there's 30 minutes left of it. Because then, spoilers, James Bond's girlfriend dies, and then he becomes
James Bond.
James Bond, like actual James Bond.
He sleeps with like other women that he's on missions with.
He likes married women. He said so in the film.
Yep.
But yeah, it's pretty good spy film.
Yeah, they also like subverted everybody's expectation of how a Bond film, because like the Casino Royale was like the predecessor of like early days of James Bond when he was becoming 007 because he didn't have his license to kill yet.
Like this version of James Bond, this like Casino Royale is his origin story.
Yes. It's like supposed to be like, okay, well, how is his early days of being James Bond, of being the 007 program? Because like you can have other 007s.
Well, they're called double O's. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
just 007. Like
Right.
that's his
It's
designation.
like
it's
their
his number 7.
Yeah.
But in order to be a double O, you have to get at least 2 kills on missions.
Right.
And then you become a double O, and you're instated as that. So, like, it's not like
It's kind of like Mission Impossible, but it's like you're given a title specifically.
Mission Impossible, I feel like there's definitely, like, more about, like, the situations that they're in. Like,
Yeah,
the
you're the
least thing of the
only.
world.
Yeah, you're the only person that we can count on to get this job done.
Whereas,
And then it's also the same thing for like, okay, like I have this great group of like friends that I associate myself with, so we're gonna get this mission completed.
and then there's a lot of great references like mixed in there for the older James Bonds, like how he
Like this martini.
He has martini. He
'Cause,
literally,
like- like, what I-
he steals a guy's 1964 Aston Martin.
Yeah, and he doesn't have his own Aston Martin.
He does get it later though.
Yeah,
he
he
gets,
does.
It's a DB
'Cause,
like,
like,
DBS that's like specifically designed for the film.
Yeah, because like when I first watched it, because like obviously everybody like either has or has not seen the 007 movies. Regardless, you always have the two synonymous lines that are always quoted in every single James Bond movie, and even just across like multimedia is all like, my name's Bond, James Bond, and then also like, how would you like your martini? Shaken, not stirred.
Shaken, not stirred.
But then when he goes to the bar for the first time, and then he gets asked like, "Oh, like, can I get a martini?" And they're like, "Do you want it shaken or stirred?" He goes like, "Does it look like I give a damn?"
Yes,
And I'm all like,
they tease you a
"What?"
little bit.
I'm like,
Yeah.
he didn't say it should be stirred.
He's the bad boy, James
Or no,
Bond. basically.
shaken, not stirred. Like, I'm like, oh man. And then the Aston Martin thing, but I also loved when who is it? Michael Maston, is that his name? Right? Yes.
You're talking about the villain in the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. the chief.
Yeah, he ties him up to a chair with the bottom cut out, with him butt naked,
Yeah.
with his balls hanging out of the bottom, and he has a rope
With like a burnt end at the very, like, so it's like like a blunt object basically at the end.
Yeah, and so he just like whaps him in the balls, questioning him, and he just goes like, "Oh my god!" Like, you know, he's freaking out, and then he just gets to the point where he just like, he's not giving any information up either, which is great. But he just goes like, "Oh, a little bit more to the left."
Yeah, could you do a little bit more to the left, please?
Yeah, I got an itch on my
And he
nuts.
just starts he starts laughing hysterically. He's like, "I can't believe you're going to die, having scratched my ball."
Yeah, it's great.
It's like very, very, very dirty in that sense.
Yeah, and we'll cut to the clip.
I've got a little itch. And, would you mind?
No! To the right! To the right! To the right! You are a funny man, Mr. Bond. Now the whole world's gonna know that you died scratching my balls.
So, so yeah, that's something I watched, and then I watched a little bit of the. I'm watching Suits again.
Nice.
That series, great, like really good, strong first couple of seasons, and then it sort of dies out because they cut one of the main cast members at near the later part of the season, which I know why they had to do it, because one of the woman love interest
Yeah.
in the series is Meghan Markle, and so she can't be in the film anymore because if you don't know who that is, she married an English prince. So she's living over in England now. So she can't be on the show anymore. So she's gone.
Yeah.
Then the main guy leaves. So they have to write them out of the
of the
series,
scripts.
basically, which is
Yeah.
dumb because the whole point of the show existing in the first place is because it's about a guy who fakes getting into like a top business law firm
Right.
in New York because he lies about being going to Harvard University because he has a photographic memory. And so you take him out, and all you're left is all the side characters, basically.
Yeah.
Which is why they decided to continue to run with that after they cut him is really strange. But watching that, and then finally, the last thing I'll mention on my watch list is I watched the Waco, Texas documentary on Netflix again.
Yeah.
Really compelling, really sad stuff about the Branch Davidian cult in Waco and Mount Carmel, who basically they holed up in this makeshift stronghold, and they were raided by the ATF, and it ultimately ended in the building burning down with the cult members inside.
Yeah.
A lot of women, a lot of children dead about it. Very, very sad. The I believe the anniversary of it was back in 2021, like the 20 year, something like that, because I believe it 20 or 30 years. So I listened to that again because Netflix does this really cool thing where if you listen with earbuds, you can do kind of a weird thing where you can listen to Netflix in the background, even though your phone's not open. And
Interesting.
I
didn't realize that they did that. It's kind of like having YouTube Premium.
Kind of like
you
that.
Can kind of do that same
so if there's a series on Netflix that you can sort of listen to without
needing to watch it,
like most documentaries, where there's a lot of like commentary, a lot of dialogue. That's it's part of what I listen to when I'm at work most days. So anyway, that's my watch list. Kind of went into it a little bit more.
Cool. Yeah, so I've only got a couple things on my watch list. I watched Darkman this week. Darkman is I think it's based off of a graphic novel series, if I remember correctly. It's got Liam Neeson in it, who plays as like the main character. Bunch of other people. I just don't remember off the top of my head who is in it, but yeah, Liam Neeson plays as Darkman. He plays as a scientist, and then he gets into these criminals end up going to his lab, and they rough him up, and they basically think that he's dead because they put him in a vat of chemicals. Because but they don't know that. Let's see here, got director David Litch, writers Zach Alkowitz and Kotaro Isaka. So
I think it's David Leitch, not to be confused with David Lynch.
Not David Lynch, no.
Yeah, no.
David Leitch, because it's Leitch. So what other stuff did he do? Oh, he was producer for the first John Wick. He directed Atomic Blonde. Ah, yes. If you remember, Jack, he directed Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh my God.
So
okay, thankfully this movie is not nearly as bad as Hobbs and Shaw. But you can now that you've explained that, I can definitely see the similarities.
Yeah,
for sure with the cinematography and the writing style a little bit.
Yeah,
but again, not nearly as corny or as campy as Hobbs and Shaw is.
Yeah. Okay, so he also directed Deadpool 2 as well as Once Upon a Deadpool. He also directed The Fall Guy, which we will talk about at some point.
But Devin has said that we need to talk about that. So.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, just a different set of stuff that happens.
Yeah.
So instead of it having about assassins, it's about what is it? I don't remember now.
How about we save that for when we actually talk about The Fall Guy?
Probably. It's stunt guy. Stuntman, yeah. Which I love that movie too. Okay, anywho, so we got Brad Pitt, who plays this Ladybug. Got Joey Keane, plays this Prince. Go figure there. Aaron Taylor Johnson, who's coming back from Kraven the Hunter, we talked about in a previous episode, plays Tangerine. This one is probably like one of his best works that he did, and Kraven the Hunter is probably the worst, I feel like. Brian Tyree Henry is Lemon, who I'm trying to think,
he's been in a bunch of stuff. I remember him from, he was in Godzilla King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong. And then he's also Megatron in Transformers 1.
He's also in Atlanta. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the last movie we talked about that he was in, because I recognize him. But we got Andrew Koji, who plays as Kimura, and the great Hiroyuki Sanada is the elder, who the last time we talked about was in John Wick Chapter 4.
Yes, I remember that now.
Michael Shannon, who comes in with the White Death. Bad Bunny, who plays as the Wolf. Logan Lerman, who is the son for the White Wolf. Not the White Wolf, the White Death. Zazie Beetz plays as the Hornet. And Masi Oka is the conductor. So he's great.
You know, it's so funny. Michael Shannon, I see him pop up a lot.
Yeah.
And my first thought whenever I see Michael Shannon is like, oh, isn't that the guy who is on SNL all the time? No, that's
Bill Hader.
That's Bill Hader. Yes, I constantly confuse those two
because they kind of look alike.
They kind of look the same,
kind of.
But Michael Shannon, obviously famous for playing as I know him most as like General Zod from Man of Steel.
Yep.
But he's in a bunch of other stuff too.
Yeah.
Great actor.
Yeah, and then we got a few small cameos with Sandra Bullock.
I can't wait to talk about these.
But Sandra Bullock is actually in the movie. She's just voiced over, though.
Yes,
because Brad Pitt talks to her because she is his handler.
Yeah, she's Maria, right? Yeah, the handler.
But then she actually shows up in person at the very end of the movie. But then we got like Channing Tatum, who makes a cameo appearance.
I said out loud when I saw, is that Channing Tatum?
Yeah. And then same thing for Ryan Reynolds, who was supposed to play as Carver, who makes a brief appearance towards the end of the movie.
Zero dialogue.
Yeah, zero dialogue. He just shows up, takes off his helmet, and then he's just like, cool guy pose. Carver, and then it cuts to where the White Death is talking to Brad Pitt about like wanting to get revenge for Carver. And he goes like, wait, you think I'm Carver? Nah, man, I'm filling in for him because he's got a stomach thing. And he goes like, I want the Carver.
Yeah, I want the Carver.
Yeah. Got one tagline here for you, Jack. Only one. The end of the line is just the beginning.
I hate that. I hate that. Like whenever a tagline uses just the beginning. Yeah. Because it's like it makes it sound like it's going to be long and drawn out. You know.
Yeah. I mean, this movie does clock in for like 2 minutes or 2 minutes. 2 hours and 6 minutes.
That,
it doesn't. It goes pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like the bullet train.
Like you never find a time where you're like looking at the time for the rest of the movie, or it's like, oh god, when is this gonna end?
Right.
You know,
because like so like one of the things that I actually enjoyed about this movie is the fact that you have comedy and action.
Yeah.
Like that they play off of each other. So like of course like it's not just like bang bang shoot 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 like dialogue or like hey witty joke here. It's like it's not that, but there's comedy throughout the course of the movie. But then it's like very violent, and it's not a typical action movie either. So
I found myself going like, oh man, like a lot during these, and the commitment to being able to stay on the train for the entirety of it.
Oh yeah, because like the whole point is for Brad Pitt because he's doing a snatch and grab job, and that's his basically whole MO of why he's on the bullet train in the first place. He gets on the train, he's supposed to grab this briefcase, and then he's supposed to get off, and that's it.
That's all he has to do.
And then he somehow, some way ends up with every time he tries to get off, he gets right back on the train.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the episode of The Simpsons when he tries to roll, I think it's Marge's car off of a cliff. No, it's like a beat up car or something like that. So like he jumps up and he goes like, so long, and then he jumps out of the car and then he's tumbling down the hill and then he vaults off of a rock and then he ends up back into the car and he goes like, uh-oh. And so he goes off the cliff.
Yeah.
Homer, you genius. Geronimo!
Into the lake. And so it's kind of like that, but not to that extent. He just like gets off and then he has to get back on and stuff like that. So but yeah, every opportunity he tries to get off, he ends up staying on. So,
and I think it's just like what a great way to like. You start off with the concept of the character of Ladybug, who is Brad Pitt's character,
and so like,
which you write him as like, okay, this character is unlucky.
Is unlucky. But even when he's on the phone with Maria, she goes like, oh, like, your nickname is Ladybug. And he goes like, oh, I see what you're doing. Like, ladybugs are supposed to be lucky. And she goes like, yep, you got it. And so, like, he doesn't realize that his unluck is actually lucky for him, because the first thing that you notice is that, like, oh yeah, like, you know, he's in Tokyo, he's trying to get on the bullet train, but then he ends up stepping in a puddle on the street.
Yeah.
But then there's also a truck that goes past him, and then he doesn't realize that. Because if he didn't step into the puddle, he wouldn't have taken a second to look at his shoe, and then he would have just immediately gotten murked with this truck.
He almost got isekai'd, basically, which is very fitting because he's in Japan,
right?
But what I'm talking about more along the lines of, like, it's a challenge to a writer to basically create an unlucky character. Okay, how do I take this unlucky character and have him be present during the entire course of the film?
Right.
Because if he was so unlucky, then he would just be killed immediately, and then that's not interesting.
Right, because, like, the whole... So, I would assume that people have seen this since it's been out since, like, 2023. So the whole plan for this is that the White Death wanted all of these different assassins to be on the train so that way he could have them all kill each other.
Because they've all done something to wrong him.
They've all had a hand in running him and killing his wife.
Yeah.
Because and I have all of this written down in my notes too, which I found to be interesting. But, like, we get all of this information at the end of the movie, but it's all like Tangerine and the Lemon, they kill his crew in Bolivia, so he left to go and handle that situation.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why that they're on the train, and that's the reason why that they had to go and handle his son and the money, just to have all of these people all on the train at once, because there's that. And then on top of that, like, his son is kind of a shithead who's always getting into trouble. So his wife, that's the reason why that she got into the car accident in the first place, was because that she was going to go and bail him out. And then Carver got into on a mission to go and take her out, which he thought was actually the White Death, and that's the reason why that he wasn't in the car in the first place. And so, like, ends up getting her into an accident, and then that's the reason why that the White Death wanted Carver to be on the train, is so that way he could kill Carver at the end. And
so from here, the White Death's wife is in
the hospital.
And she needs life altering surgery.
Yeah, I think her rib broke, and it's like puncturing her heart, and so he had to have a
like top surgeon, basically.
Yeah, for cardiovascular stuff.
He gets killed by the assassin known as the Hornet, who's a poisoner who uses boomslang venom to poison her targets.
Well, the thing was that, like, when the film first opens up, they have a news report of the snake being missing in Japan. And so she took that venom she took the snake, but she took the venom so that way she could start killing people with it, is the thing. And so, like, that's her whole MO, is that she poisons people. And because, you know, like, beware the sting of the hornet type of thing.
Yeah.
But
clever names.
Yeah, so she ends up killing the doctor, which ends up killing the wife.
Yeah.
And then so they were all just basically supposed to kill each other. And then his daughter wasn't even supposed to be on the train, because, like, at the end of the movie,
we found out that
because she wanted to basically have him respect her, and so, like, she thought that she was always, like, in the shadow, that she was unwanted and stuff like that. But he even tells her specifically of being like, no, I've always noticed you. And so, like, but she wasn't a part of his plan.
Yeah.
And it's all like, well, what the hell does that mean? And then they divulge all this information to Brad Pitt at the end, thinking that he's Carver.
A bunch of exposition happens all at the very end, which is good.
And it all connects. So.
Yeah, because then it's not exposition. Then it's like putting the puzzle pieces together.
Right.
Which...
letting the pieces fall into place.
Which also, like, kind of, like, makes this sort of a mystery, too.
Yeah.
Of, like, what are all these people doing here?
Right.
But not so much where it's like it's the main focus of what's the events that happen is, like, trying to find out the truth. Mm-hmm. It's more of like it's sort of happening.
Why are all these people here?
Happening in the background.
Yeah.
Like, they bring it up every so often, but it's not like a big pivotal point of, like, the plot, basically. And we've trying to figure out why all of these. It's like it's kind of like isn't it weird that all of these guys are together instead of like we have to figure out why all of these guys are on this train at the same time?
Yeah,
sort of deal.
And like we've talked about it before, where it's all like this movie kind of doesn't need a multiple watch, but like it helps to watch it multiple times to find all the hidden nuances of stuff that was happening, because like it's not spoon fed to you, it's not forced down your throat, but it's sprinkled throughout. Like when
It's kind of-
when the Hornet is in like the mascot costume,
Yeah.
and Brad Pitt falls into her, and so she has the case, and so she's not giving it back.
Yeah.
And then is forced to basically give it back because
And you
Brad
think it's
Pitt
just some
punches it.
sort of like person, a Japanese person in a mascot costume, just having a little bit of fun.
Right. But
but-
no, it just turns out that that's
Right.
the Hornet like trying to take the bag of money, and that's why she's there, is to get the case of money.
It's kind of like the Rip in that sort of sense, where it's not that you have to like oh god, I have to watch this again so I can understand what was going on. No, I want to watch this again so I can see how the pieces fall into place
Right.
before the very end happens.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it's like a fun rewatch. You know?
Yeah. It's like a fun time to watch it, because then you notice stuff of going like, okay, yeah, so like this makes sense because of this reason, because this character did this, and blah 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 blah.
And
So-
that's the best type of movies that have that sort of mystery about them,
Mm-hmm.
is when you can watch them again and you can still have a good time watching it, as opposed to I have
this is
no
gonna be drawn
idea.
out, like,
I have no
type
idea what
stuff.
is happening throughout the entirety of this movie, and then at the very end, no, okay, finally now I understand.
Yeah.
But then you watch it again and it's like, okay, I have to watch this again so I can like finally understand how all these pieces
Yeah.
connect.
Plus, like, this is also just a fun movie to watch too.
It is fun. The vibe is supposed to be like not a serious sort of like flick like John Wick, even though
Yeah.
John Wick does have some sort of not necessarily unintentionally funny, but they're not like
No.
like little bits of oh that like
That
you
was
know,
funny.
you know, moments that
It's
like
unintentional funny, but like it's like you still
I-
get a chuckle out of it.
like I like to categorize as the guys see this and they say hell yeah,
Yeah.
moments. You
Right.
see things like
Yeah,
that.
it's the hell yeah moment.
Yeah, so
Because another thing that I really liked was like the music to it.
Yeah.
Too, because like it's Japanese versions of like really
Right.
big songs. Like first is like "Staying Alive" that comes on. It's a Japanese version of it.
which like some people have like criticized this movie of being too whitewashed.
Yeah.
That like you see the posters for this movie and you see Brad Pitt on the very cover.
Right.
When really it's not really about him, he's more of a side character.
Yeah.
And the
Like
real-
he's not even supposed to be there is the
Yeah.
thing. So
Most people assume that. I mean, that's what I assumed when I because I haven't seen the trailer for it. This might like sort of went in semi-blind, but I had seen the poster for Bullet Train. The only thing I knew about is that Brad Pitt's in it, so he must
Right.
be the main character.
Yeah.
Not really. Again, it's more interesting that he is a side character.
Yeah.
And not like the main protagonist, because he is a white, well-known American actor.
Right.
And there was many accusations that this movie was sort of whitewashing Japanese culture because Brad Pitt's on the cover of the movie, and that there's this stigma that like Hollywood doesn't cast Asian leads
yeah.
because of some sort of prejudice that Hollywood has up against that. But the movie starts out, obviously it starts out in the hospital room with the father and his son who got pushed off of a building.
Yeah.
And
Oh
now
yeah.
he's
Then
in
that's the reason why that the prince is there, is because that
She pushed him off.
She pushed off the son off of the roof.
Right.
And then to get the dad on there, who was Kimura, and so like he gets on the bullet train because of that, because like this is where the person that pushed her son off is on the bullet train. They're seated here.
He's going on the bullet train to take revenge, but then
Right.
she uses that as part of her plan to
Kill the White Death.
Kill the
Her
White
dad.
Death by putting up a patsy, basically, to
Yeah.
to like try to attempt to kill the White Death, only for the gun to blow back in his face because of some ironic.
Well, it's the thing that like she's a explosives expert, it seems.
Yeah,
So-
that, and then it's supposed to be poetic justice, basically. That
Yeah, pretty much.
That he kills himself with the weapon that was attempted to kill him, basically.
Yeah.
So that's why he's on the train,
Yeah.
and then that leads into other people, sort of, where am I trying to go with this?
I don't know.
Cut this out.
But yeah, I don't know. But no, so like I just love all the characters to this.
Like there's not a character in here that I would say did a bad job, really. They were all sort of typecast into what they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
I like how the Hornets actress, because she's
ZZ Beats.
she's
ZZ Beats.
She's Domino, right?
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I confuse her and Zendaya.
Yeah. I mean, like, I understand because, you know, like, they're light-skinned black women.
Which I don't know if
But
that's
don't look
racist or not.
similar at all.
Yeah,
but
they don't. But like, I maybe because they're both in Marvel movies.
Probably.
So like, I just thought that like, but I've seen Zendaya in multiple different things besides just Spider-Man: Homecoming. But like, I was like, I confused them at first, and then I'm like, oh wait, that's the girl who played Domino.
Right.
But she's also been she's in something else, but I can't put. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember what else it was, but it was really good.
Yeah.
What the thing that she was in.
She's in a new movie coming out.
That's
which is
no,
gonna
it
be
was
awesome.
probably I think it was an older movie, but
yeah, no. I know that you wouldn't have seen it because like you don't watch trailers anyway. So.
No, I don't. But my favorite, I think my two favorite characters are definitely Lemon and Tangerine because they just
100%.
have such a good chemistry. Because one of them they just piss each other off.
Yeah,
for the most
well,
part.
like they're supposed to be twins, but one's black and one's white.
They're orphans,
and then,
so
yeah, and like
that's
that's the thing because like, Lemon. Throughout the course of the movie, I love how he always talks about Thomas the Tank Engine.
It's so funny.
And so he's all like he puts a classification from all the characters from that to all the characters that are on the train. And so like he finds out because like he starts breaking this down early on when he's talking to the White Death's son.
Yeah.
Because like he finally wakes up. And so then they like one of the things I loved was the them arguing about how many guys that they killed to go and get him. And so they're like, it's 68. No, it's 70.
It's just now clicking to me that like White Death hired those guys to kill his son.
Yeah.
Basically.
Pretty much.
And now
because he didn't care about his son. He even talked to Brad Pitt about like how he should have cut him out years ago and that would have saved him from all of this discourse.
And so like
his wife would still be there if he wasn't there.
So now they're keeping charge of his son.
Right.
And
then
they're
like
also keeping charge of a briefcase of like $10 million.
Right. Which, you know, again, the Hornet is the reason why that they're there.
Yeah.
And so that way that, you know, if she does if she kills all of the other assassins, then she gets the bag of money.
Yeah.
But then they're supposed to be there to grab the White Death's son, grab the briefcase of money, and then bring it to him in Kyoto.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why that they're there.
But
and
Lemon's explaining the whole thing about I'm good about like reading people and I know.
Yeah, because of Thomas the Tank Engine.
So like
that's what's funny.
He describes
about it.
him as Tangerine as like a God, what's the character?
I don't remember.
George, I think.
Maybe.
He's strong, but sometimes he doesn't always listen to
he doesn't always listen.
Told.
And then he immediately goes like, huh? What was that?
Yeah.
Take Tangerine here. He's a Gordon. This blue one. And Gordon is the strongest, the most important, but he doesn't always listen to others.
What's that now?
And then
he talks about how the White Death's son is one. I think his name's Paulie, something like that.
Like one, he's young. Like, he's naive.
Yeah, he's young and naive, and he's like not all there. And
yeah, he's not all there. Yeah.
You know, you seem like a Percy, young, sweet, not ordered.
He first calls Brad Pitt the Diesel, who's supposed to be like
the bad guy.
Yeah, the bad guy that fucks everything up and like all this bunch of stuff. But it just turns out that it's actually the Prince. Yeah. And he later finds out about this because like, I love this line of dialogue that he has when it's him, Prince, and Kimura are all there, and so like she's like saying like, oh, like, you know, he's kidnapping me, he's like holding me hostage, blah blah blah, and so she's like crying and bawling her eyes out. He goes like, he's just staring at her,
tears,
and then he's just like, I'm sorry, I get captivated by little white girl tears. Like it's always my favorite bit.
Please, mister. This man, he kidnapped me and he said that he's going to hold me for ransom.
I'm sorry, I get captivated by white girl tears. Bravo.
It's my favorite line of dialogue. One of the favorite things I love, and this is from like the first trailer that dropped for this movie, is the quiet car scene.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
Like when Brad Pitt is going up and down the train and stuff like that, and so like he comes down and sits in front of Lemon, and he just goes like, "There's a gun under the table," and before he can finish his sentence, he goes like, "Shh, this is the quiet car, mate.
Quiet car.
This is the quiet car, mate."
Hi. There's a gun under this.
Shh, bro. This is the quiet car. Gotta use your small inside voice in here, son.
And then he just goes like, "Oh," and then so he starts whispering, and then
There's a gun under the table.
yeah, and so he just goes like, "No, there really isn't." But like, the whole thing about this is that Brad Pitt's character Ladybug is in therapy, and so like he doesn't believe in actual violence. He would rather talk things out,
That's why
de-escalate it.
He had the option to bring a gun with him
Right.
onto the train. To
Yeah,
because
like he
job, but
asked
said
for
no.
Yeah, because he asked for a bunch of equipment. He took sleeping powder, firecrackers, and when he's in the locker, at the train station, he's on the phone with Maria,
his handler.
yeah, and so she goes like, saying specifically of what he's grabbing. Like he grabs firecrackers, puts it in his bag, and she goes like,
Sleeping powder,
"This is such a
really?
weird thing to like ask for, like firecrackers and like sleeping powder. Like you almost gave that guy a heart attack that one time." And he goes like, "I worked out the dosage." Later on, he goes to put the dose in the water bottle and ends up pouring the whole thing in it. He goes like, "Ah, fuck it," and just puts the whole thing in it. And then on top of that, you've also got where like we just discussed of the gun.
Yeah.
But he doesn't take the gun, and then he ends up just getting on the train. And then even at the end, Sandra Bullock comes in and she goes like, "How about next time you just take the gun and fuck what Barry has to say?" He goes like, "All right, like fair enough." But yeah, I love that scene because like freaking he's explaining to him like the stuff that he was trained in therapy. It was like, "Yeah, like I looked in the mirror and I didn't like what I saw and all this bunch of stuff, and like sitting in front of us is a wall and there's a window," and he goes like, "Or was it a door?" He goes like, "I don't know," and then he just goes like, Lemon's just sitting there and he just goes like, "Oh god," he like rolls his eyes and everything. Like he's just like, "You are." I forgot what he said specifically, but he talks about like, "You're a handful to deal with, aren't you?" And he goes like, "Yeah, I've been told that before," or something. And he finally just grabs his arm, jerks him forward to where he hits his head on the table, and then like especially the
lady in front is just like, "Shh."
Yeah, she keeps shushing them, and especially because the first opportunity that Brad Pitt has to get off the train, he gets stopped by Bad Bunny, the wolf. Because the wolf is there to basically get revenge for his wife dying on their wedding day because she was poisoned, as well as everybody else at the wedding because they all had the cake. And he remembers him being there as the waiter, and he thinks it's his fault, but that's actually the Hornet's fault because she poisoned all of them with the wedding cake, and because she was the server, and that's why he's there on the bullet train to get revenge.
And they did him dirty.
Yeah.
I really thought. I really wanted
he wasn't
him to
in the
be
movie
more...
for that long because you just got his backstory, and then him on the train, and then he dies. Like,
yeah,
that's
he dies immediately after fighting Ladybug, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm so like."
And it was accidental too because like he's trying to stab him.
Yeah, he's like, "You ruined my life."
Yeah, and one of the things that I liked about this whole scene is the fact that he gets on the train and he stabs him, and then he pushes him off and he goes like, "You stabbed me?" And
I don't even know you.
Yeah, and then so like they're fighting more on the train and stuff, and then he goes like, "Yeah, you ruined my life," and he goes like, "Dude, I don't even know you." Picks him up from his shoulders and throws him over the bar.
Yeah, I think Brad Pitt did a really good job in this film. Because you can identify Brad Pitt's mannerisms. He usually has a low gruff voice. Brad Pitt sounds whiny. Yeah. He sounds like he's not really.
He sounds like a normal person if he was doing this job.
He's doing
because
he's
only doing snatch and grab jobs now.
And that's what I really hate about Hobbs and Shaw is because Hobbs, like the Rock was not doing a character.
No, he's
the
just
Rock
doing
was
himself.
just doing the Rock, and that's why I liked this movie a lot more, even though it's by the same director. That Brad Pitt's just just a way better actor, and he knew that he had to put on a character, and he just had to do like Brad Pitt voice, basically.
Right.
Because you think about
trying to be like the macho, like badass,
you think
like,
about
good guy
in
type of thing.
like Inglourious Basterds. You think about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You think about even Brad Pitt in movies like Moneyball,
or even Fight Club.
He sounds pretty similar in all those movies, but in this one he sounds like meek and pathetic a little bit, even though you know it's Brad Pitt,
right?
And he's been in other action films before.
Oh yeah,
and you know that usually he's like this suave, like,
and he's
tough
also
guy.
like very charismatic in the Ocean's movies, so like Ocean's 11, 12, and 13 or whatever. And then like he's supposed to be like the suave, like funny guy and stuff like that, but like even in this one, like, you know, he's funny, but he's not like the suave, sophisticated type
he's
of guy.
funny unintentionally. Like, he's not trying to be funny.
Right, it's just funny circumstances that happen.
Because he's like really unlucky. So it's the combination of him running with the character and it's just like, okay, I realize you're an unlucky guy, right? You need to sound like it,
right,
a little bit too. You can't be your normal self. You can't be like how you were. And it really does work, and it's interesting to watch him because you know, in the back of your mind, as an audience member, you know that he's the unlucky guy.
Yeah,
and they've demonstrated that multiple times.
Oh yeah,
and you're just sort of waiting for it to happen, and then you start seeing these little things like he's unlucky. Yeah, he got his phone like broken, but.
Because he got stabbed, and that's what saved him.
He threw like he had a knife thrown in his heart, and then he throws the knife back, and it kills.
No, that's not what happens. So like he takes the case, he
brings it ricochets,
it up.
right?
Yeah, it ricochets. Like he throws. So the wolf throws the knife at Brad Pitt. It bounces off the case and hits him right back in the heart.
Yeah,
and that's what happens.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, because he stabs him.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm misremembering this. I just remember that at some point the knife gets thrown back at the guy and it hits him in the heart.
Yeah, that's what ends up happening is that like it ricochets off the case and hits him directly right back into the heart. So, and then he even says like Mikoto Son, because he also says that a few times because of his wife.
It's very cool. So, also, the wolf has like the same suit that he wore when his wedding, and it was like at first when you first see him, you think that the suit's kind of blood stained. No, it's wine.
Yeah, from his wedding
day.
when he got bumped and he wiped it off.
Again, it's kind of like the hilarity of the beginning of Zack Snyder. No, not Zack Snyder's. David Gunn's Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
where you get introduced to all of these characters, right, and then they just die when the first time they actually hit combat. So am I thinking of this? Am I thinking of the right one?
You said Suicide Squad, right?
Suicide Squad.
Yeah. No, you're right.
One with Idris Elba.
Yeah.
So,
John Cena and stuff. No, you're right. For some reason, I thought you said Guardians of the Galaxy. My brain.
No.
My brain didn't hear that's what you said, so it was all like, wait, James Gunn, and I was just like, wait, what?
No, James Gunn does Suicide Squad where you get all the backstory and all of these like different superheroes, and they just die.
Right, they die within like the first 15 minutes, and then it's actually centered on Team B on the island, and
it's
stuff
kind of like a screw the audience,
right?
Sort of like joke.
It's kind of just like, hey, here's a big middle finger, and now you're going to sit here, and now you're going to take it.
Which is, I was so sad because I wanted to see more of the wolf.
And it was the same thing for like
cool.
And it was also the same thing for like ZZ Beats too.
Yeah, for the,
like she was only in it for not even that long.
Like there's a bunch of setup and then they just die.
They just die immediately.
Immediately after meeting Brad Pitt. It's just like
which is hilarious. But yeah, so like the whole fight between him and Lemon, and like I love whenever somebody talks to Lemon and he goes like, I'm Lemon, and they're like the fruit,
like
and he goes like and he goes like and
like
so like he rolls his eyes and stuff.
There's so many recurring bits in this film.
Yeah,
it's great.
But yeah, then he talks to Lemon about whatever, and then and then like the whole fight instigates,
and again,
he has his hand on the laptop, and then he smashes it down, and so he goes to screaming, and he holds his mouth, and then the lady, that was the thing, is that like after Bad Bunny dies, he tries to get off the train at the next stop, but then Lemon is there with the gun in his hand, and when he walks off the train, the little old lady goes to get on. She goes like, "Oh, excuse me." He goes like, "Yeah, you're fucking excused." And so she goes like, "Oh, that's no way to talk." And he goes like, "Does it look like I give a shit?" And stuff like that. Like he's just being an asshole to her, which is hilarious. But yeah, and then like she just keeps shushing them the whole time. And the fact that like when this whole fight starts and she turns back and then like they wave to her. And then they sitting next to each other, like, you know, punching each other or whatever. And then like she turns back and shushes them again. So they're still waving at her.
It feels like, again, this is another example of the writers really challenging themselves. 'Cause it's like how the sort of like how John Wick is written a little bit.
Right.
The fight choreography is okay.
You're gonna do this.
How
do this move,
how do we make these characters fight each other, but they're in the quiet car, so they can't make a
and
whole
they're
bunch of noise?
literally have just a table between them, and then they also jump to the other side of the seating as well. And
It's a good blend of writing and choreography getting together and saying like, okay, how can we make this scene interesting and funny at the same time, as well as trying to make it so these guys are actually trying to kill each other.
Right.
So
and like by the end of it, like Brad Pitt finally like knocks out Lemon, and then she still is like, "I'm gonna get the conductor," and he goes like, "Eat a bag of dicks, lady." And he goes like, "Sorry, I'm working on that.
I'm working on my aggression right now."
Yeah.
I'll call the conductor. Eat a bag of dicks, lady. I'm sorry. I'm working on it.
And cut to later on, which I loved the Channing Tatum cameo. Because he just goes like, "Hey man, you want to make a quick $200?" And he goes like, "Is this like a sex thing?"
It's like a sex thing. It's like
he just goes like, "No," and he goes like, "Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I was just joking." He goes like, "What do you need, bro?"
Hey, bro. Want to make an easy $200?
Was this like a sex thing?
Nope.
Oh, I was kidding. Yeah, what's up? What do you need, bro?
And then,
which is it's funny because Channing Tatum was in Magic Mike.
Yeah, and so then Tangerine comes running up, and so because
he's like, all right, buddy, game's over.
Yeah, and he goes like, "All right, there, big boy, game's over. Hand me the case." And he goes like, "Is this the sex thing?
Is this the sex stuff now?"
And he goes like, bollocks," and like he runs off, and he goes like, I love a guy and I love a good accent."
Tell me, and I promise I'll only shoot you enough.
Whoa, is this the sex stuff?
What?
I do love an accent.
And then when Brad Pitt and Tangerine fight at the front of the car, like at the front of the train, like after they get done fighting and stuff, he runs back. So he runs back, and then Channing Tatum is like still there, and like he looks back and he goes like, "Man, he's got a great walk." like
the most random
cameo, the random thing that he probably just was told to riff. Honestly,
which it's just so funny because Channing Tatum is a big name like actor at this point. Yeah. I mean,
it's the same thing for like Brad Pitt being in a cameo for a Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock movie. Because this was like a couple. I think this might have been like a year after this movie came out. So
if that's the case, then that's a really funny reference. Then
because case. Like I can't remember. I think it's City of Gold. I think is what it's called. And so like Sandra Bullock is supposed to be a book writer, and so it's supposed to be like, oh yeah, like you know. Talking about people going off onto this adventure and stuff on this island.
A book writer, you mean an author?
Yeah, author. So yeah, she's an author of like this adventure story, like love story,
kind
of like the Fabio stuff.
Okay.
And so like Channing Tatum is supposed to play as the character that she's supposed to be in the movie or like in the book, and then it just turns out that he's just like a typical celebrity, like I don't want to go there because like it's not perfect or whatever. And then Brad Pitt is that character that she wrote the story based off of.
That's pretty
but
funny.
like he's supposed to be the personification of Channing Tatum's character in the book, so which is funny. But yeah, anyhow, the Ladybug and Tangerine fight was hilarious right after this because they're fighting and stuff like that towards the front of the car, and then they get interrupted with the girl with the trolley cart.
Yeah.
And so like even when we're first introduced to the trolley cart operator when she's walking through, and so like, what's his name, Tamura, he runs into it. Like he runs into her,
Yeah.
and then they're like, "What the fuck? Is he blind or something?" And then like he takes a couple of like fish biscuits off the trolley, and so he just goes like, "I don't know why I did that." He goes like, "It's an impulsion thing." So, but yeah, she shows up in the middle of them fighting in like the front of the train, as well as like where they snatch all the snacks and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why she comes in to like refill all the snacks and drinks and stuff.
She's very polite, speaking Japanese, and it's like,
yeah. And so she goes like, oh, like basically in Japanese, like, would you like some stuff? And they're like, no, we're fine.
Actually, I'll take a sparkle water.
Yeah, he goes like, hey, do you have a bottle of water, anything sparkling with bubbles? And she goes like, okay, like here you go, like their Voss promo right there.
Yeah.
And then
it's like I don't have any.
Yeah,
money.
I don't have my wallet. I gave the last
me?
of my money to the guy that gave my stuff to, and he goes like, all right, and he goes like 1,000 yen. That's 10. That's 10 quid.
That's 10 quid.
And then he goes like, are you sure that you don't want to talk about this? He goes like, no, I'm good. He goes like, all right, screws the cap back on, throws it at his head. He goes like, ding.
You sure you want to talk this out?
Not particularly, no.
Okay.
I kind of like how he explained how much it cost in like normal people dollars.
Yeah.
For all of like the people who don't.
They're like, well, how
understand.
much is 1,000 yen? And it's all like, it's 10 quid,
See,
which could accumulate to being like $5 here. So
no. Like closer to maybe like $9 here.
Well, yeah, true. Well, it is Voss water too.
Yeah. So
I didn't take into that account, but yeah, and we already talked about like the I'm captivated by white girl tears is hilarious.
yeah, we're jumping all over the place because
Yeah.
like this movie kind of does that.
Anyway,
it's like the story is less interesting if you talk about it in chronological order. It's more confusing, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're trying to like.
I think
put it all
that like
together.
we're talking about our favorite bits, but also like character by character analysis too.
Yeah.
Because then after that, then we have like the Hornet fight with Brad Pitt, right?
Which
So-
we already kind of. No, we
didn't really talk about it
the
because
actual fight.
Yeah,
but-
because like she's trying to stab him with the syringe of poison, and in the midst, like while they're fighting, she keeps calling, like saying "bitch."
Bitch. Hey, bitch. 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 Bitch.
A lot.
Yeah, she says bitch a lot.
Yeah, and so she ends up stabbing him in the hand with the venom, but she didn't push down on the syringe. And then he takes it, stabs it into her arm, and then pushes down on the plunger, and then she gets the poison. And then like they're both given a stare down because she goes like, "Oh, that's 30 seconds before the poison hits you, and then you start bleeding to death out of all of your holes."
Yeah.
And then she has an antidote. And then so as soon as she takes it out, he stabs himself in the neck with it. And then she immediately starts dying and bleeding from her holes in her face. And he goes like, oh, shit. Like, do you have a backup, dude?
Yeah.
And
Can
so
I get you something to eat? Like a water?
Like, do you need a blanket? Like, do you need
He's,
to
like,
lie down?
concerned.
He goes like, are you okay, bro? Like, do you need something? And like,
she's just crawling like behind the bar.
she's like, she grabs a bottle of water, opens it, tries to drink it, and just throws it to the side.
Can I get you something? Water? Would you like some water? You want a blanket? You want me to hold your hand?
He goes like, do you want some water? Do you want a blanket? do you want to lie down?
Oh
Like,
man.
And so she dies. But like the last thing that she said was like, bitch, pretty much. So, but
and then like after that, like Ladybug poses her next to Wolf.
yeah, because like he poses the wolf like in a seating position.
Like he's asleep, and then he
tries
puts,
to
like,
clean
a bottle,
up the mess.
He puts a bottle of alcohol like,
in his
under
arms.
his arm, so it looks like he's asleep.
And
while
puts
he's
his
drunk.
sunglasses on him. And throughout the course of like after his phone gets stabbed because of that fight, he's constantly going from phone to phone from each person that has one that he like kills, because he takes Bad Bunny's phone and then he calls the handler and like is on the phone with her, and then that's how we find out that the Hornet stole the snake in the first place, was because that he sets up this barricade at one of the doors. So
and every single time he has to explain that like, oh, like, somebody else is dead on this train. Like, are you kidding me? What's going on?
yeah, and then he takes Lemon's phone because in their fight, Bad Bunny's phone breaks. So, and then he takes Tamura's phone because the prince has him basically as a hostage, essentially, because of the fact that one, she sets an explosive device on his gun.
Yep.
And then on that, she's trying to put his explosive device in the briefcase because she finds the briefcase, and so like he opens it up with the combination that he finds out by going through the numbers, and then
she's
she
supposed
puts
to
it in
be
there.
lucky.
Yeah.
And Ladybug's supposed to be unlucky.
Right.
So it's kind of like a funny thing where it's like, oh, cool, now we get to have both sides of it.
Right. Because then
like another thing that
that was the thing is that like he gets a phone call from his dad, the elder, and then he goes like, oh, like why aren't you at the hospital? And so he goes like, oh, I found out like who pushed my son off the roof. And she goes, and so he goes like, yeah, I just came on to get revenge. And he goes like, well, a father always like takes care of his family and blah blah blah. And she says like some line of dialogue to where he can say it, like where he can hear it over the phone. And then he goes like, who's there? And he goes like, oh, it's nobody. Like, I gotta go. And so she takes his phone and throws it away. And that's how Brad Pitt gets that phone after.
And from then on, it's like, you can't touch me. Because if I don't call my guy at the hospital looking at your son every 10 minutes,
then he kills your son, and then like now you no longer have anything. So
you can't touch me. Ha 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 ha.
Right. But yeah, I thought that the whole thing when because after Lemon wakes up Tangerine and him run up and down the cars to find Brad Pitt.
Yeah,
and like
Brad Pitt's
that's the reason
up and down
why.
The train.
Yeah, and that's the reason why that like him and Brad Pitt fight, like him and Tangerine in the first place. And then while that's happening, Lemon finds Tamura and the prince, and so like that's how we get the whole dialogue of like,
he kidnapped me. He's trying to kill me. Please, you gotta help me.
Yeah, and so he goes like, all right, we're gonna play a game.
He just wanted my briefcase. And
yeah,
like,
well, like it was the thing where he goes like, all right, we're going to play a game. If like, because they both have their hands raised. He goes like, if you like this game, raise your hand. He goes like, oh, perfect. I knew you guys would like this game. And then he goes like, all right, I'm going to close my eyes. When I open them, one of you is going to have your hand raised. The other one is going to point to the person that is the Diesel. And he goes like, all right, 3, 2, 1. And then immediately he raises his hand because he thinks about his son. And then she's pointing the finger at him because, of course, she doesn't want to get shot.
Yeah.
Because she has a bigger plan to like kill her dad. And then
she's just play acting at this point.
Yeah. And so he shoots Tamura, and then he is basically out of the picture at this point. And they drag him into the bathroom. And then this is the reason why, like, after this he falls asleep, is because that like he was drinking the bottle of water that Brad Pitt put the sleeping powder in.
Which this bottle of water is important.
Right, because the bottle of water is following all the way from the beginning of the movie, even before they get on the train, and they are doing the job to go and get the Russian kid. Mm-hmm. And because like we didn't even talk about them arguing about like how many kills that they got for that job too, because like Lemon says it was 16, Tangerine says it was 17.
And the only reason they messed that up is because they got an instant guy killed accidentally. But
right, a random bystander, and Lemon goes like,
damn it.
He goes like, but we can't really count that one because like that wasn't our fault.
Yeah, he's like,
he goes like, I guess. And so because like I love when movies do that, when it's just like, hey, like let's recall what they're talking about, like
as
especially with this whole scene.
Yeah,
and they start talking about it like in that moment,
in the scene, yeah,
in that moment of
like
being
they're talking to the audience as the action is happening.
Right. It's just like, oh, well, here's one, and then shoots and kills him, and then it's like 5 guys at the poker table.
Yeah.
And then they're all like, oh, and like, you know, doing a pit maneuver on the cars, and then like, and the twat on the motorcycle and stuff like that. And so it's just like, oh, and there's always guys with swords, and and he goes like, I do like a good sword and stuff like that. So, I do like when movies do that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and then we have where, what is it? Yeah, the when it's at the end of the movie, well, towards the end of the movie, it's like the last like few bits of the movie, where everybody else is dead. Like Tangerine finds out that that she kills Lemon. But later we find out that he
was just sleeping because he has a vest
on.
on.
Well, it's the fact that he had a vest on because she shoots him in the chest twice. And then early on in the movie, they even talked about like, oh, are you wearing your vest? He goes like, no, like, you know, you have a good chance of getting shot in the neck.
Yeah.
And which is
funny
is what happens to Tangerine.
Yeah.
And he gets shot in the neck when he confronts her. And Brad Pitt and him, and him and Brad Pitt fight over the gun, and then so he shoots him in the neck, and I'm like, that's a very violent scene that happens, is when him getting shot in the neck and blood spurting all over the place and all over him, and he just keels over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, that's fucking intense.
Which, by the way, we forgot to mention that Ladybug threw Tangerine off the train.
No, well, he didn't throw him off; he kicked him off.
He kicked.
And then
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then Tangerine jumps back on the train
So
and smashes into the front car.
He's like hanging on the back of the train when it's moving at like 200, 300 miles an hour, and then he gets back in.
Yeah.
Finds out that Lemon's dead.
Yeah, because there's that meme of where it's all like, oh, me walking into work with like 3 hours of sleep and like 6 energy drinks or whatever. It's all like him walking through the car after he jumps back into the bullet train. So it's all like me when I walk in with only like 3 hours of sleep, and it's him early on in the movie where he's all fresh and like, you know, he's wearing his jacket and everything. He's all suave and cool and stuff. And then it's all like me at the end of the day, and it's like me once I get 8 hours of sleep, and it's all like him just all beaten up and like torn up and shit.
Yeah.
So that's always funny. But we get where he gets shot in the neck, and I love that comparison because it's like, oh, you're wearing your vest? Nah, because there's a good chance I could get shot in the neck. And he goes like, well, like, you know, who's to say you're not going to get shot in the chest? So, and he does, and then Tangerine gets shot in the neck. So, because Tangerine doesn't even wear a vest either. So, like, which is also pretty weird of why he would be telling him to get a vest.
Yeah. So,
or if he's wearing his vest.
So, like, at this point, we're sort of like getting towards the end of the movie. Other small little detail is that while Ladybug was trying to barricade some of the doors to be able to like prevent like Tangerine and Lemon to get into them, he stacked a bunch of suitcases, and one of them happens to be a cage, and it's the boom slang.
Yeah,
So
that's
the boom
the same.
slang is loose in the train somewhere, and we see it from time to time, like slithering out the train.
Right.
And when I saw
And
that,
then
I was thinking to myself, like, that snake's gonna bite someone.
Yeah.
And
then it bites Brad Pitt.
I thought it was gonna be Prince.
Yeah.
The girl. I thought it was gonna, she
Right.
was gonna, but no, it happens to be. Happens to
Brad
be
Pitt.
Brad Pitt. And it's like, oh, thank God that I immunized myself from being bit from snake
earlier.
venom, you know?
Yeah, because with each one of the characters being introduced, we always get their backstory.
Yeah.
So, except for like Ladybug. Ladybug is the only one that we get an explanation from him.
Yeah.
For his backstory, because like we don't know a whole lot of him or his history or anything like that. But with each one of the characters, we get their backstory and stuff like that.
So
like we get a backstory of the snake, and again, that goes back to the beginning of the movie where it's like the news report saying like the snake has been stolen or it's missing, and we're trying to find it.
Venom.
And, that will have you bleed out of all of your holes in your body.
Yeah.
So, and like it is what 30-second death or something like that if you don't have an anti-venom or
10
something
seconds,
like that.
I think.
Yeah. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So,
and then like we even get it with the bottle of water too at the end of the movie. So
yeah.
like again, because like the bottle of water gets the thing because like when the huge like when they land in Kyoto.
Yeah.
So which was their initial
Kyoto is the end of the line.
Yeah. And the White Death is there, and he's going to kill. And like this is when we get divulged of all the information of why all these assassins are there in the first place. But then when Lemon comes to, like he helps them, and he starts up the train, and they go and stuff like that.
At some point, also the Elder gets back onto the train.
Yeah, the Elder gets on the train.
He has to go check on his son.
Yeah, because he gets on the second to last stop.
Yeah. And but
because
this point,
because like again, every time Brad Pitt has an opportunity to get off, he has to get back on. Like, oh, she's purposefully, like, at this point, everybody's dead. It's just him and
everybody,
the prince.
all the other seats, but near the end of the line, were bought up by the White Death. So only assassins are left on the train.
Right, and so he's the only one that's there. And then the elder gets on, and he is wanting the prince to get off, and so like her bag is quote unquote like stuck, and so because she wants to go to Kyoto to go and kill her dad.
Yeah,
is the reason.
So
and but yeah, then the elder gets on and then like starts talking to them and stuff.
And then he has his whole backstory, which he explains that he used to be part of the in the gang that the White Death took over because he was strong. He killed the former leader, and then the White Death.
He also like killed his son and no, not his son, his wife.
Yeah, he killed his wife.
Yeah,
and we got this cool scene of the White Death in the no mask.
Yeah,
and he's like sliding the revolver down his arm. That's
very
so
cool. And
he's
doing the Russian roulette thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And he ends up killing the leader and stuff.
I don't know if we mentioned this, but the White Death is actually he's a Russian, like mobster who took over a sect of Yakuza, after killing their former leader. So he basically took over that. So he's like, he's Russian, but he wears like a Japanese mask, which I think is really pretty cool.
Right.
So he eventually talks to he has a heart-to-heart basically with Ladybug, saying like, oh, I'm just bad luck and nothing seems to go my way. It's like, well, there's this there's a ladybug in Japanese mythology called the Tentomushi, which is like a ladybug that sucks in all of the bad luck in the world.
Yeah, and so that way everybody else can either be normal or have luck.
Yeah, so in a way you're kind of helping out by being so unlucky.
Right. I loved when Brad Pitt, after freaking out about the snake bite, he comes back and this is also a part of the trailer too, and he goes like, I have a story to tell you, and he goes like, nah, I'm good. He goes like, nah, it's short, and he goes like, nah, I'm okay, and he just goes like, I think you'd benefit from the story.
It's like, nope.
And he goes like, nah, I'm cool.
Well, I'm gonna tell it anyway.
Yeah, he goes like, well, I'm gonna tell it anyway. So but then like, the White Death and all of his guys get on the train, and then they go, and then they have the giant train catastrophe because then they end up on the wrong side of the tracks, and then there's another bullet train that goes over it, and then it just like rips the train apart.
Oh, this is a really cool scene where just the train crashing, which all of them should be dead.
Right,
but of course,
100%. Because Brad Pitt is trying to figure out a way to like, which this was also pretty cool. He's trying to find out a way to like stop it, and because it's going out of control.
But the manual's in Japanese.
Well, he gets the manual. He fights a guy. He, I think he like clocks him in the throat with it, puts it on the seat, grabs him, throws his head on it so he breaks his neck, and then he starts thumbing through the pages of going like English. And he goes like, hey, I got it. We're good. And then immediately the wind rips it out of his hand, and he goes like, shit. And just like all like gets taken off the train. It's great. But yeah, and then we have where the White Death dies because of the explosive that was in the gun, because this is when he comes up to because now the whole train gets derailed and it's all over like this town and stuff, and
White Death flies the train track, but he's got a sword lodged in his side.
Yeah, because him and the Elder get into a fight,
which is a really cool
sword fight.
Yeah,
and so but yeah, then that's when the water bottle comes into play, because the White Death is holding the Elder at gunpoint, and so like he's doing the whole like Russian roulette thing, like he did like for old time's sake, and does the whole like rolling off the arm bit, and he ends up like he's actually has one in the chamber, and then like his son Kimura grabs the water bottle, throws it at him, and then he ends up like missing the shot, and then the Elder jumps up, stabs him, and then cuts him and stuff.
Yeah.
But after the train gets derailed and everything, the White Death dies because of the explosive that's in the gun that he forgot because
he's
from
so
the
pissed
prince.
off about like
because he wanted Carver is the thing. And he goes like, yeah, man, like I'm not Carver, I'm
that's
filling
when we
in.
get the cameo of Ryan Reynolds, and like, are you serious? When I saw
Well, it was like right before that, because it was like when the White Death was explaining this whole plan he had for all the assassins, and then everything's all well and good, and then they're about to go their separate ways, and then Prince shows up, and she goes like, "No, I'm the White Death," and then before
I'm the White Death now, it's like,
and then before she even does that, a tangerine truck.
I am the White Death!
Yeah.
Right.
And then then we have the Sandra Bullock cameo. She finally comes into show, and there's the mid-credits scene of who is driving the tangerine truck. And it was Lemon. Because Lemon jumps off the train to save Brad Pitt because he was about to get shot or something.
Into some water.
Yeah, he falls into a river, and then he jumps out, and then he grabs the Uzi that was there, or the SMG, and then he shoots him, and then he stops the tangerine truck, which I think is also poetic because he stops the truck and he just goes like, "Tangerine." And so he's like driving and stuff, and he goes like, "Fuck you, you diesel bitch," and just like boom, runs into her with the truck.
Fuck you, diesel bitch! Oh! Final curtain, huh? Final curtain! Take a fucking bow!
And he goes like, "Yeah, curtain closed, like take a fucking bow," because like he knew that she was putting on a show with her crocodile tears. So and then like that's the end.
That's basically
of the
end of
train.
Bullet Train.
So
again, lot of stuff is going on. Very chaotic movie.
Yeah,
I will say.
So I think that
we got most of it at least.
Right. So, but yeah, I definitely think that the next movie that we'll talk about is probably going to be Life of Brian, because
I wouldn't mind watching that movie again, even though I just watched it like a couple weeks ago. So.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah, I think we'll talk about that because I was talking to Jack before we started about like a movie that he wanted to talk about, and then he suggested Life of Brian because that was the first movie we were supposed to talk about when we came back from the holidays.
But then Devin got sick, so we had to reschedule that sort of stuff, and then we decided to do the movie that we watched before this one, which was The Rip, because it just came out and Devin really wanted to see it.
Yep.
So I think the next movie we'll talk about after this episode is probably Life of Brian, unless I find another movie that I potentially want to watch that isn't Life of Brian, but more than likely it's gonna be Life of Brian. So we'll have to see about that.
Yeah.
You got any? We gonna do
Well, I was gonna say, do you have anything else about the movie before we move on?
Oh, nope. We covered, like I said, pretty much everything. So
okay,
we have to give our rating, dude.
Yep. So we'll get into our rating system. So we have to decide if this is a rent, buy, or skip. So a rent is, of course, an occasional watch. I'll watch it ever so often from time to time. This is an alright type of movie. Or is it a buy, where it is a fuck yeah type of movie? I will love this movie. I will buy it. I will put it up on my shelf. I will always love and adore and watch this movie. And it is the best of the best of the best, sir, with honors. Or is it a dog shit piece of movie where it is a skip? So
dog shit piece of movie.
Yep. Dog shit piece of movie. Because I already have seen this, like, I think this is probably my fourth time watching it. So this is your first time. I'll have you go first.
Okay. I think that I think this movie's a buy.
Fuck yeah!
Best of the best, sir. With honors.
I think it's I love Brad Pitt films. Even though this isn't necessarily starring Brad Pitt, he's starring in it, but it's not about him. And it's not really a movie you can say is this thing of like Brad Pitt, like what am I trying to say? Like, he's not the main character, and it's
right.
not like
and he's not a side character either.
Right,
he's just a character that's there, that's put in the middle of this situation.
It's a movie that Brad Pitt is in. It's not a movie dominated by Brad Pitt, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that all the performances were really well done in this film. I thought the action was good for what it was. It wasn't too like hyper violent,
right?
For the most part, except for a couple of things there. It's a very funny movie.
Yeah.
My first impressions of it, when I saw it was coming out, I saw I saw like a little snip of a trailer and maybe the poster material was like, I thought it was just gonna be overproduced.
Yeah.
And kind of corny a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I did see, like, it was originally out on, like, Netflix
I think so.
Or was it in films?
Yeah, it
in
was.
Theaters?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was in theaters.
All right.
Yeah,
so
it came out in
get to-
2023, so after
but I didn't get
the
to
shutdown.
I didn't go to see it in theaters because again, so for all the reasons I just said. But then finally we decided to watch it, and I heard I things come out about it. It's like it was pretty good, but I feel like I was just waiting for a reason to watch this movie.
Right.
But then I'm kind of glad that I did now because
it's actually pretty good.
It's good, and I would watch it again. I would watch it again.
Right.
So I think for that reason, I think I'll give it a buy because it's not a movie that I think I'll get tired of like a Rent.
Yeah.
So I think I would genuinely like to watch this movie again just to see how it all sort of plays out again. And obviously, performance is really well done. I loved the creative writing in this film. That again, the writers just put the characters into these sort of challenging situations that, like I said, the character who's unlucky, Ladybug, and that's a good way to write a character. Is a character who is unfortunate or has misfortune, but you still have to keep them out throughout the entirety of the experience. So you got to find clever ways to be able to get around that.
Oh yeah.
And the quiet car fight scene was kind of interesting. It always is with like these action scenes that have rules behind them instead of just being like kill the other guy and whoever comes out of it wins sort of deal. So I think it was really well done. The whole criticism about it being, whitewashed, I didn't really think so.
Yeah.
I thought it was respectful for the most part. Because there's a good way and there's a wrong way to sort of have your movie set in Japan or in an Asian country, right? And I think like they did a pretty decent job here, regardless of what people think about. Oh, it has Brad Pitt on it. That means it's immediately whitewashed. I didn't think so. I
Plus,
thought
there's a bunch of different actors that are of like different ethnicities in it. Anyway,
and it's like just because there isn't like an Asian person starring it doesn't mean that it's like offensive.
Right.
So I think that part of it was sort of like overblown. But I really liked it. So I think I'm going to give this one a buy, personally.
Okay. Cool.
It's a bit of a long ramble, but...
Yeah. For me, I would also give it a buy.
Fuck yeah!
Best of the best, sir. With honors.
Because I actually bought it on digital.
Yeah.
Way back when. I was going to try to buy it again on like physical, so that way I could actually display it and stuff, but I'll take it for what it is. But no, I do have to agree with you in that like it's both a funny action comedy movie where you have both action elements of not necessarily gunplay, but you have like fist fighting and stuff like that. But then you also have the comedy bits that are in there, like where Lemon says oh, I get captivated by white girl tears.
I'm sorry, I get captivated by white girl tears. Bravo.
And like all this bunch of stuff, especially him just constantly talking about Thomas the Tank Engine. So, but also the thing where Brad Pitt's character just keeps saying that he's unlucky and he's trying to get off the train, but he keeps getting back on it, or he finds he always gets stuck on the train.
The idea of that he has to avoid the guy who's collecting the train tickets is so funny to me.
Yeah,
and he's like,
because he goes like, oh, like ticket, and he goes like, oh, well, here you go, and he goes like, no, this is a receipt.
It's a receipt.
And he goes like, well,
it shows
the receipt shows that I bought a ticket, right? He goes like, yeah, one stop.
You get off the next stop.
Yeah, and then especially when he tries to get off, he sees them. He goes like he waves at him, and he goes like, "You off."
And he knows that he's been around for longer than one stop. It's like it's so it's so funny to me.
He's only in the movie for like 2 scenes, which is hilarious. Just the initial like, "I want your ticket," and when he tells him to get off, and that's it.
Yeah,
it's the only time that we see him. And same thing for like the trolley conductor too, when she's with the cart and stuff.
Yeah.
So snacks. But yeah, I just love the huge action sequences that happen in this movie. star-studded cast. I love the backstory between all the characters. As soon as they're introduced, we get their backstory. Like it's great. And then like, oh, why are they on the train? It's like, oh, well, this is what's leading up to them being on the train in the first place.
And it's like, it's not just that it's a star-studded cast, but the actors are playing up their characters.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? They're not just in there because, oh, I'm famous.
Right.
You know, it's, oh, I'm in this high-budget film and now I just get to do whatever I want. You know?
Right.
They're actually playing characters like Lemon. You know? I don't think Lemon normally is like British, right?
No, he's not.
No, he's not. But he's doing a British accent. He's doing it well, right? Either where you wouldn't, if you hadn't seen him in the other films, you wouldn't think to know of whether or not he's.
Well, I think he actually is British.
Is he?
Now that I think about it,
Oh,
I don't remember.
If he is or he isn't, then like he's still playing like a character. He's still hamming it up.
Yeah.
But not. It's not.
But it's also
not,
with Aaron Taylor Johnson. Aaron Taylor Johnson isn't British,
right?
So,
but he's doing that well of an accent.
Yeah.
So it adds to your movie when you hire, when you cast actors that can play characters,
right?
Rather than just being themselves, and because they're big budget actors like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and like I'm still not over how much I disliked Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes.
And it just shows that like writers and cast really can affect a movie despite both of those movies having the same director. Right?
Yeah.
Direction style is one thing, maybe cinematography or how to choreograph action sequences, but it's the players and the script that can vastly affect how the movie finally comes out and whether or not audiences will like it or not.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anything else on our ratings?
No. I mean, like, you know, it's a great film. Definitely check it out. If you haven't
a lot better
already.
than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah.
I'll give that much.
And like, you know, if you've seen The Fall Guy and you love The Fall Guy and you haven't seen this, it's basically kind of like the same thing, just different circumstance and different group of characters, and like all that bunch of stuff. But it has that same feel and cadence where it's like, you know, it's an action movie, but it's also a comedy at the same time. So, but yeah, that's about it. But let's move on to suggested people, where what we'll do is that we'll take a 1-10, sometimes both star review on IMDb and see how these people reacted to the movie that we just watched.
And we actually have reviews this time, unlike the last movie we
yeah, because like The Rip was a brand new movie. It just
came
out that weekend that we talked about it. So
this movie has a time to stew a little bit in its
right
negativity, perhaps.
Yeah. So since we both say that's a buy, we're going to do a 1-star review. So this person says, it's a waste of time. If you've ever seen a good action movie, this one is just stupid. If you expect Tarantino, Ritchie, or Brad Pitt's best characters, forget it. Those 10 out of 10 ratings have to be a joke. It's just a sequence of nonsense situations where the characters don't seem to be rational humans. Their backgrounds and dark sides are simply ridiculous. All his flashbacks and jumps to different locations around the world are totally random. Those scenes in Mexico, Bolivia, etc. could be Madagascar or Philippines. There's nothing in those characters you could say, that could be me in that situation. And I don't see anything funny at all. I don't watch a movie and go like, that's something that I could do. Or, hey, I could picture me doing that.
You're expecting these characters to be relatable?
Right.
You're expecting a realistic action film?
There's
it's
a bunch
hammed up on purpose.
Right. It's a bunch of assassins.
It's supposed to be a sort of like a ham-fisted comedy a little bit.
Yeah.
For some of these ones, it's like, no, it's not supposed to be like the odds of these guys all coming together at the same time, and this plan is stupid. Right. Well, we can agree that the White Death's plan is really, really dumb.
It is.
To like get a bunch of killers all on the same train specifically. It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
Right.
Who cares about whether or not the plan is good or not? It's funny.
Also, given the fact that they said this film isn't funny at all, what are you talking about? Do you not like comedies? Do you not find comedies funny?
I think they
did
may
you not
have,
find any of the banter that they were doing or the action sequences funny?
They might have been too hung up on how random everything was and how chaotic some of the
sequences were.
Like the progression of each types of scenes were.
Yeah.
But you need a little bit of chaos in a movie like this, especially since the movie takes place all in the same location.
Yeah.
For like the actual events, like excluding flashback and stuff like that,
Right.
it all takes place on a train.
Yeah.
You have to.
It's only on the one setting. That's it.
You have to make it jump around a little bit, so it's not just like, oh, we're gonna go from scene to scene, but it's all the same train.
Right.
Right. Like that's another challenge that the writers had to be able to face in this movie. Like, how do we make this movie interesting where we have a bunch of people, but they're confined to a small space, a bullet train?
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, but yeah, I just don't understand why people like watch comedies and go like, I didn't find it funny at all.
Comedy is
and I know that comedy is
you can't trust
subjective.
any rating, any audience rating for a comedy film because people will just find things completely different funny. It's not like how you like a serious drama, right? Where it's like that was good or that sucked, or like an action film or like a superhero film.
Yeah.
You can trust the ratings more on those type of movies, but for comedy, you'll see these low scores for comedy movies, and it's like you watch it, and it's like, well, I don't know why this is so like low. I found it funny because different movies are for different people. So.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, like, it's also the same thing when we talked about John Wick was like, oh, I just didn't really understand why it's just like bang, bang, shoot, shoot, shoot type of movie. And it's like, because that's the type of movie that they were going for.
That's what it is.
And also the fact that this movie specifically, Bullet Train, is based off of a novel. It's based off of a book. But they had to ham up the book, otherwise it was going to be boring. So
if you wanted something more, I don't know,
simple,
grounded, maybe you should read the novel instead.
Right. Or maybe don't watch an action comedy type of movie.
See, the problem was they were trying to like watch the movie for what they wanted it to be, what they were expecting it to be, and then being disappointed that it didn't meet their expectations instead of just accepting the movie as it was.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. Because, like, the fact that they had to correlate all of the backstory and the jumping around points to being, like, a Quentin Tarantino movie or being as smart and funny, like a, not Martin Scorsese, but, Richie joint.
Yeah.
So, like, that sort of thing. And it's all like, well, yeah. Because it's not going for smart and funny; it's going for action and funny.
Which is funny. It is kind of smart in the way that it sets up jokes.
Yeah. It's very smart in the way that they set up stuff, that they set up the characters and everything like that. But it's not like Guy Ritchie smart.
But it's
or
not,
Martin Scorsese or Quentin Tarantino smart. So, but I mean, like, they have their whole style of how they do their movies anyway. So
yeah.
But whatever. Anything else?
Nope, I think we yapped enough.
Cool.
Pretty much on this film.
Cool. Well, it's been a heck of a long day for us. So
yeah, we're actually recording this like later in the evening because we had plans earlier this morning when we usually do our podcast. So right now we're both pretty tired as it is. So we're gonna wrap this up here.
Yep. So again, thank you everybody so much for watching, listening, tuning in, however you guys are doing it. Really appreciate it. Again, make sure to follow the show on all the platforms. Give us a high rating. Share this around. Show us the support. And
subscribe, please.
Subscribe, follow the show, and we'll see you guys next week for something new. So, bye.
Bye.